High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it, how to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to I don't know what the word is, hot, humid, sticky afternoon here from Middleton High School as we welcome you into this broadcast. We'll call it North Idaho Game Night, which is presented by Mountain West Bank here on IdahoSports.com. Coverage on IdahoSports.com is also presented by your local Toyota dealer, Project Filter, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, as well as Valleywide Co-op and Country Stores. Hi, I'm Logan Green alongside Ryan Luke, and we've got Alex on the camera. We're ready to rock and roll here from Middleton as Skyline, Utah makes the trip up the highway here to play Post Falls. And we were actually remarking beforehand that Post Falls had the longer drive, even though they are the, quote, home school here in Idaho.
Yeah, it's a bizarre dynamic here in southern, specifically southwest Idaho. You get on 84, and it's a straight shot to Salt Lake City. And so Skyline High School, per Google Maps, 5 hours and 17 minutes, and Post Falls, you're looking at 6 hours and 30 minutes to get here. But as the crow flies, Post Falls takes the cake.
And, speed limit's a little different going the other way. So we're going to step away from the national anthem, and we'll be right back with the rest of our pregame show here on IdahoSports.com.
We're Valleywide Country Store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
The injuries look like those seen in people exposed to poisons like mustard gas. That's how doctors are describing what they see in the lungs of vapors. The chemicals can essentially burn your lungs. Find the truth at BehindTheHaze.com.
Welcome back to Post Falls, or excuse me, not to Post Falls, to Middleton for the game between Post Falls and Skyline. We'll get twisted up enough tonight because Skyline also a very prominent high school here in Idaho as well. So it's a dual name of successful football programs. But coming into the year this year, Post Falls, this will be it. The opening game for the Trojans as they make the trip down. Last season, 5-1 overall, 2-1 in conference. So they actually defeated Coeur d'Alene and Lake City. So it's pretty good to defeat Coeur d'Alene. Then they lost to Lewiston by 1. So that 1 point was all that stood between Post Falls and the postseason. They were one of those teams that kind of got a little skunked by the Max Preps rankings a year ago. Of course, Idaho moved to the Max Preps rankings a year ago to determine the at-large bids. So each conference champion would get in automatically, was placed, and then there were at-large bids handed out by your Max Preps ranking. And that last spot went to Bora last year. So a great chance here for Post Falls to pad that stat this night, or today, this opening week of the season, as they play a very good team from Utah.
Yeah, and Skyline is one of those perennial teams that has historically done really well in Utah, and they've had some ups and downs, but they have bounced back a little bit as of recent. And so you're right, Logan. This is a good matchup for Post Falls if you're looking for Idaho football and how Idaho shows up on the national scene playing teams outside of the state. This is a good opportunity to kind of flex some muscle. Now, Post Falls, like you said, great record last year. Kind of got hosed a little bit, and pardon the term, but got hosed a little bit based on strength of schedule because of that small, they didn't have a large sample size to choose from. So, again, being able to go out and, say, beat a team like Skyline. Now, if you're Skyline and you're on the other side, by the way, Logan, this is probably the most relevant broadcast to date, well, we'll say this year, because both teams are so far away, and to make the trip would be kind of a large – biting off a large chunk at that point. So us being able to broadcast it to you, I think we're very grateful and be able to have this opportunity, a little bit humbled to put together such a good matchup. But I do have Post Falls as my slight edge based on the fact that I think they come out, and I think physically they might be able to take it. Now, Skyline does have a couple Division I recruits. They have a kid going to BYU. He's an outside. He's a receiver or an athlete. They have him as an athlete spot. And Post Falls in general just comes in as a scrappy bunch. They have good size up front on the offensive line, so it should be a good matchup as we go throughout the day.
Should be. This one of 5 today and 4 tomorrow, so 9 on the weekend of Idaho versus Utah matchups. Of course, the Rocky Mountain Rumble going on at Madison High School today. You want to check that out, be sure to do that. We have all 8 of those games on IdahoSports.com. I was watching a little bit of the South Summit versus Marsh Valley game earlier today, and Marsh Valley at least last I saw was trailing big time to South Summit. So we'll see how that one ends up turning out.
Yeah,
we're good.
Well, so in Marsh Valley's defense, South Summit actually beat a 5A school in Utah 2 weeks ago. So South Summit is one of those teams that does come off and play pretty well, bigger than they are. They are just right outside the Wasatch Front, so they do bring a lot. They were a perennial powerhouse in the 2A area. Now they're back up to 3. Now they're up to 3A. So. Again, I love it. I love the dynamic of Utah playing Idaho. I think that's how Idaho high school football gets better. You've got to play outside the state and really show where you are.
And, I mean, so far, at least 1-0 as of last week, as Laguna Beach, California came up to play Homedale just about 20 minutes down the road from us here in Middleton. And Homedale put a hurting on the boys from Laguna Beach. So we are about to get underway here as Post Falls will boot it away. Andon Brandt gets it started, and a touchback. Nice job by Brandt getting it all the way into the end zone there, dropping on the eye of Vikings as Skyline will take over 1st and 10, ball at the 20-yard line.
Skyline, for the longest time, ran the triple option. They put a couple guys out there. There's a gentleman named Joe Dupay who's been a coach at the high school level. His father was the head coach at Skyline, and they won a lot of state championships. But much as the rest of high school football is gone, they have now moved over to the spread offense, and with the players to go along with that, they line up in the spread formation to start out.
I did 2 games last week, and I don't think I ever saw somebody under center, and we see it right now as in at quarterback Josh Calvert in for Skyline. He's in the shotgun, 3 receivers up top, 2 below, and Calvert will keep it this time up the middle. Makes a move, gets to the second level across the 30. All the way out to the 38-yard line, they'll say. So Josh Calvert, the senior, with a big run on first down.
Yeah, big run. All he did, that was a designed run, held onto the ball and just looked up the middle, made one cut, made the man miss. They lost contain, able to pick up big yards.
So moving the chains on first down. Ball at the 38, just underway, 11:50 to go. Short screen to the left side. This one snuffed out by Post Falls, but able to get out of it. Nice job that time, Porter Brockman. Brockman sneaks forward for about 6 yards on that. Now, Brockman a year ago led the team in rushing, had 659 yards, and averaged almost 4.5 yards per carry. So that's exactly what you want to have in the backfield. 2nd and 4, ball on the 44-yard line. Brockman takes a handoff to the right, dancing around, and he is right at the sticks. I think he'll have just enough for the first down.
And this is, to me, this looks like, hey, we haven't played a game this year, whereas Skyline has. You kind of got to get your sea legs under you and what it's like to play real contact, and it looks like Post Falls suffering a little bit from that right now.
1st and 10, ball on the 49-yard line, Skyline. Quick pass to the left side. Good blocking out front across the 45, over the 40, and another first down. That time picking it up, Spencer Grant, the senior for Skyline.
Yeah, Skyline has them on their heels right now a little bit, kind of misdirection going both sides of the field. And a lot of just short routes and moving the ball laterally to keep Post Falls on their heels.
First down, another one. For Skyline, the run off to the left side by Brockman. There's a flag. He's across the 30, but I think it's going to come back. It will be all for naught. As Porter Brockman picked up 10, but it'll come back 10, I believe.
Yeah, that kind of looked funny. He got around the corner, and he saw the flag come out right as he was getting around the corner. He was like,
It's not worth, it's not worth getting hit if that play's coming back, not worth the injury or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and there was a hold right up the middle. That's how he was able to bounce outside. And it's tough. You got to offensive linemen trying to keep their hands on the inside and not hold is very difficult, but that's why you got to drive your man forward, and that's how you block. But, and Skyline's done a good job up to this point.
So we'll restart first, and they'll call it 21. Ball right at midfield. They need the 29 for a first down. Skyline has moved the ball positively every play so far this afternoon. See if they can keep up the streak here. Cross pass over the middle is incomplete. Nice defense by Post Falls that time. That looked like Blair Crane on the defense. The junior gets just enough of the body right as the ball gets there to get the incompletion.
Post Falls running that 3-4 defense, but they rush 4 every time. So it's a choice where they're going to send that fourth man from the linebacker spot, trying to keep Skyline on their heels.
So 2nd and 21. Calvert rolls right, the option. He pitches it to Brockman, and Brockman picks up about 6 yards. So it'll bring up third down, 3rd and long. 3rd and about 15 for the Eagles.
Yeah, and this is where Skyline has to pull out that 3rd and 14-yard play that everybody loves to see what they're going to do. You just push the ball downfield. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even take a shot to get the first down, but just play for field position.
And Calvert's shown that he can throw the ball. We'll see what he does here. He does just a short screen to Brockman. Brockman can't get past the first defender. Nice defense that time. Cole Cripps was the one on the defense. Got just enough of the shoulder pad and hung on for dear life till his teammates could come out, help him out. And a big 4th down now coming for the Eagles.
Yeah, that was a conservative play calling, and it looks like, and don't get me wrong, I think this is going to be a pooch punt, but it was conservative play calling because I think they're going to play.
Well, they were trying to get him to jump, and we saw a lineman get over, but get back.
I don't think that's okay.
It was close.
It was close.
So they're going to go for it here. Calvert, he's got a ton of room on the right side. And the throw, and they got the first down.
Wow.
They needed 18. They got 18 and a half, and a first down on 4th and 18 for Skyline.
Well, it depends on the spot. It doesn't look like they gave it to him.
Oh, wow. They're going to say he was down at the 30.
Yeah, that was kind of a
I thought he was past the 31.
He was.
Wow.
That was a soft spot. Hey, Advantage Post Falls on that one, but I don't think that was a good spot.
So maybe I'm thinking back on the play. It's not ESPN up here. We don't have instant replay. But the receiver came back towards the ball, and maybe they're going to say the point where he caught it where the ball was must have been up at the 30. Either way, Post Falls will take the good fortune 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Handoff goes up the middle. The ball is out, and Skyline's going to recover it. It looks like Brooks Walker was the one that fell on it, and it was Walker. So 1 play, 1 fumble for Post Falls, and we'll just restart.
And it looks like that first game yips, right? You have the first game, and we're playing full contact. Offense is ready to go out there and smack him in the mouth. Running back takes the ball and just couldn't hang on to it. And he got hit up around the midsection, popped the ball loose. So I guess karma, football karma.
Yeah, it was.
Football karma comes back into play here.
So you're right. I guess at the end of the day, I think this might be correct. They'll just move it back a couple yards from where that first down would have been. So
Sure.
Post Falls, that's not how you want to start a game. You get a 4th down stop, and then you fumble on your first trip out. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles after a short trip to the sideline. Calvert rolls right and will go across, and he's got his man. Did he get his feet down? He did. Miles Hall with the reception for a 1st down.
Post Falls has to figure out a way to just stop. They have one negative play. Everything else on top of that has been all positive, at least 4-yard gains.
1st and 10 inside the 20 at the 15. Brockman dancing around the middle. He'll pick up about 6 yards down to the 9.
Yeah, Skyline High School plays in 5A classification in Utah, and Utah, of course, has the 6A classification. But Skyline historically was one of the bigger schools, and as the Salt Lake Valley grew around it, there's really not a lot of place to expand for Skyline.
So 2nd and about 4. Throw over to the left side, wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. I believe that's number 21, Rice Walker Adams, who just found himself behind the defense wide open and brings in the touchdown grab to get the scoring started.
Yeah, that was a blown coverage, and what happened was in the back of the end zone, as the receiver came across the back of the end zone, they passed him off, but he didn't see him because he was so far behind him. He didn't cover the back end of the end zone. The Post Falls defender didn't see him, and he was just able to slip right behind him. That was by design, by the way.
So Zane Cooper will come on for the extra point for Skyline. Hold is up, and it is good.
Zane Cooper's PAT is good.
So Post Falls coughs the ball up, and there's a turnover, and then Skyline's able to convert and score a touchdown on that. And that's a big play. That's huge for Skyline to come out. Now, you got to understand Skyline has 2 games under their belt. They kind of have some things dialed in. Post Falls has to really accelerate that if they're going to stay in this ball game. Post Falls, on the other hand, looks like offensively they look the part. I think they're going to be able to run the ball against Skyline. And they're going to have to play some ball control and just stay in this. Hey, that will count that as the first drive. It's their term now. They'll get the ball back, and that would be their, we'll call it one drive for each team.
It does not look on paper and even on the field that Post Falls is outmatched by any means. I think, like you said, it's their first game, and they just happen to drop the ball on that first play, and they'll get another crack at it. So 7-0. 8:32 left to go in the first quarter. Thanks for joining us on IdahoSports.com. North Idaho game night, or we'll say North Idaho game afternoon from Middleton. That's presented by Mountain West Bank. Kickoff underway. It'll bounce and be picked up at the 10-yard line across the 20. Room to run up the right side across the 35 and down to the 37. Great return, 27 yards. That time by number 88, Troy Olsted.
Yeah, great starting field position. He made one cut and was upfield. And you'll be able to see as the year goes on how important special teams continue to be. I mean, they've been important forever, but it is critical for starting field position along with converting points and moving the ball.
Post Falls ready to go. The officials are trying to get one ball across the field to the Skyline side, and they finally do so. And as soon as they blow the whistles, Post Falls will be ready to go. So back at quarterback, Isaac McCown for Post Falls. So this one to run up the middle, about 3-yard gain. So McCown, just a sophomore. So always a little nerve-wracking when you have an underclassman starting at QB, but he must have been pretty impressive to earn the job. Second play of the drive. Left side, nice run, nice contact through right at the first down marker, and it'll be a first down. Tevin Burns picks it up for Post Falls.
That's how you finish a run. You put your shoulder down, and you lean forward, you get the first down. Well played, son.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 40. This one picks up maybe a yard.
Yeah, we talked about it. Post Falls needs to establish their run game. A little bit of physical dominance up front. They have a big offensive line, and it looks like they're able to move the ball a little bit but blow those guys off the line. And Skyline's in that 3-4, 3-5 type defense.
So 2nd, and it looks like they gave him 2 yards on that. Ball's on the 49 of Skyline. Pass over to the right. Screen getting around across the 3rd and 3.
Yeah, as a 6'6" target, he's a big kid, plays with his hand in the ground. He has the frame to put on about 20 pounds. He'd be a legit D1 prospect.
So 3rd down, and they got him to jump. Nice hard count by the sophomore. Gets the defensive end. Looks like that was Miles Parker. Well, that's a great name. So Miles Parker, I have a son named Miles, and is saying, I know what I just did there, and I can't believe I did it. So 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Another run up the middle. And it's been pretty much copy and paste so far for the Post Falls offense. I guess if you're picking up first downs, you keep with it.
Yeah, and why change it? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And Skyline's going to have to adjust to that because they only have 3 men up front.
So Jake Bustamante, the senior running back, picks up about 5. They'll spot it at the 31, so 3rd and 3.
If this is Post Falls, this is what you want. You want to establish yourself, a little bit of physical dominance, and be able to go out and just move the ball forward.
This will be a pass over to the right side. Wide open in the middle of the field is number 86, Alex.
End or the receiver settled in right where he was supposed to be, wide open in that seam.
5:50 to go here in the first. 1st and 10. This one on the jet sweep coming around for the Trojans and stuffed in the backfield. What a stop. That's Miles Hall. Hall picks up and pile drives into the ground. What a tackle.
Yeah, Hall, must rover safety. He comes up
floater.
against, floater. You'll see him at the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd down. They'll say no gain on that last play and a short run up the middle. Bustamante picks up maybe 2. So it'll be 3rd and 8. 5 minutes to go in the first.
Skyline looks quick side to side, but up front they have that advantage with that 3-man front. It looks like.
I want a quick pass in the middle, and man, just the quick pass they were trying to hit Bowie, and it hit him right in the numbers, and if he gets that, he's going to be close. He was right around the 10-yard line when it hit him, and he needed the 7, almost to it.
Yeah, McCown made the right read on that because the linebackers vacated. There was nobody in the middle of the field. He knew that his receiver was going to run the slant route through a right. And
great read.
The receiver's like 6'5". He would have leaned forward and got it.
Just didn't catch it. So 4th down, Post Falls will go for it, and looks like a timeout's going to be called. So 4th down and 7 yards to go from the 14. What do you draw up here?
You're kind of in no man's land. What you have to, obviously you think you're going to throw the ball, but you have to figure out, and you have to, we saw it last week with Timberline.
It is.
You are where you want to be, so they have to run routes deep enough. My opinion, and this, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I draw it up with a lot of crossing routes because I think Skyline's going to settle back in that zone. They're going to rush through, settle back in the zone, and you have to throw in between that picket fence that they put at that first level. So you have to settle your receivers on those, and they have to find and settle in between the defensive backs past the first day.
Falls is actually going to kick a field goal. Out right now is Brandt, the kicker. We saw him boot one through for a touchback earlier, so he's going to come on and kick a 31-yard field goal. It's up, it's long enough, and it's good.
Hey, take the points. I think that's a good call on the coaching front. I think you take the points. It's early in this game. You show. Go out and play some defense now. Skyline, on the other hand, has to figure out a way to play defensively if they're going to be able to stop Post Falls as this game continues on because 3 defensive linemen wear out pretty quick.
And it's hot here. I just looked at my, trusty, dusty weather app on my phone, and it said 96. It said the real feel was only 96, and I don't believe that. We're under a tent and an umbrella, and so are we up top. We have this little tent, and we're all crammed up under it. It is a hot day here in Middleton. you think about those days in October where the weather will be cold. You know, when we're standing in the blowing snow, we'll wish we had this. But I think I would take that any day of the week over this hot game right now. So here we go. Brant will boot it away again for Post Falls after he put them on the board with 3. And that one will go even deeper. So Brant really been a weapon so far.
Ball out of his hands with the Miles, and you make him take it from the 20-yard line. So hats off to him if he can keep that up. You remove a weapon from Skyline, and you make him earn points the old-fashioned way.
I don't know how many times I've seen over the last couple of seasons where kickers, you know, the ball is consistently dropping around the 20, 15-yard line on a kickoff, and that puts the team starting around the 35 or 40. And Post Falls, they're going to pin everybody back to the 20 just about every time. So progress to the 25.
Yeah, and I'm going to say the same thing for Post Falls that I said for Skyline, which is you've got to figure out a way to stop the ball. Skyline has all positive yardage except for the one penalty on that. Or actually, they did have one defense stop in the backfield, but they have to figure out a way to stop the ball.
So 2nd and 5. Good protection and throw drive. Threw it into double team, and I tell you, looked like it was Gentry Smith, a linebacker from Post Falls. He was drifting towards the far side of the field, and you can almost see that he was saying, wait, I wish I was back just a hair so I could pick this one off. 3rd and 5. Skyline steps up, and that one is completed at the 45 across the 35. The ball is out.
I was going to say, quarterback from Skyline did a fantastic job stepping up in the pocket, creating some space. He had kept his eyes forward, hit a man downfield, but then, hey, handed it to Post Falls, came around and caused the fumble.
So the pocket collapsed. He stepped to his right, gets it to his receiver at the 35, and as he's running upfield, Post Falls knocks it out. It's recovered by Jordan Summers. So both teams with a fumble. McEwen back to pass. Pass completed up to the 45-yard line. So a short pass, only 3 yards. It's McEwen.
Yeah, and Miles Hall came up on that tackle. You can see why he's a D1 recruit. He's all over the field, and he did not. He moved the guy backwards. He wasn't falling forward.
So it'll be 2nd and 7, ball on the 45. Not goes high and out of bounds.
But see, Logan, that's why it's so important that we do a good job.
That's right. So thanks for joining us at home. Hopefully we are not boring you too much at home. But, yeah, long drive. Me and Alex were remarking that pretty much I would expect parents to be here, maybe some siblings, but that's probably about it that made the 5 to 6 hour drive here to Middleton. Down. Post Falls.
Yeah,
and he gets it.
The quarterback hung in there, and he waited and waited for his guy to clear to come open, and he did finally, and then he just quick zipped it to him and was able to pick up the first down. Good job, McKeown.
So another run up the middle, this time close to a first down. I think they'll give him 9. There's a snap, another run up the middle. Bustamante, he's across the 20, and a flag comes flying. 2 flags come flying in.
I think, obviously this is going to be on Post Falls, but if you're Post Falls, you got to take a lot of heart in this. They're able to lean on that Skyline defense, and they're punching some major holes on there. Now, Bustamante, for his part, he's a thick kid. He's over 200 pounds.
And really, it's just been a couple of yards here and there the first 2 drives for Post Falls. But this one here, they're picking up chunks of yardage on the ground. So we're just going to restart. They're going to move it back. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Post Falls. McEwen, he's going to be sacked. A couple of different Eagles in on that. Looked like Brooks Walker was the first one in.
So they ran a cornerback blitz, bringing back, actually, it was a pressure up the middle for the sack.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 15. So it was going to be a first down inside the 15-yard line is now a 3rd and 15. 2:10 to go here in the first quarter. North Idaho game night presented by Mountain West Bank. This pass to the middle, popped in the air, and that was dangerous. Luckily for...
There wasn't a lot of pressure on him, but he probably didn't see anything downfield. I think Skyline had good coverage downfield, and so he just tried to get rid of the ball. I think the internal clock was ticking down to the point where he needed to get rid of it.
So the punt is away, and it's going to hit around the... What a punt! And it's still going and out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
It looked like the sand wedge.
Yeah.
Just get it to just dig in there and kick to the side.
That was Tevin Burns, number 17, on the kick, and he pins it. They're going to goes out at the 3-yard line. So what a punt.
Yeah, Post Falls is looking the part, right? They're a competitive team. They're out there playing with a pretty good team from Utah. You know, a couple mistakes here and there, but hey, I say physically they look like they're looking the part. I'd say schematically they're right.
First quarter, big chance here for the Trojans as the Eagles are backed up deep in their zone. A run by Brockman gets a little more breathing room up to the 6.
At this point, all you do is you just hand the ball off and say, hey, don't get tackled in the end zone.
Just don't go backwards.
Don't go backwards.
If Post Falls can get a stop here, got to think they'll come out of it with another set. Flag was, you can't just block a receiver down like that. It should be pass interference.
Yeah, and that might just be illegal contact because he was so close to the line of scrimmage, but he did knock him before the ball was even there.
So they're going to call pass interference.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, it was only 3 or 4 yards downfield, but the receiver got knocked down.
And then the ball
pass
went through.
went this way. And hopefully that brings light to what just happened. Either way, big 15-yard penalty. So they're out of the shadows of their own goalposts and across the 20 now. Calvert will roll left through the first level and out of bounds at the 26.
Yeah, Calvert's a good athlete. You can see the way he moves. He slides really well in the pocket.
Wasp isn't bothering he's hanging out on the camera. Try to end his mortal life here on Earth. If I can get a good whack at him, I think so if you see something bubbling in the screen, that's what it is. It's this wasp floating around us. All right, 2nd and 4, under a minute to go in the first. Calvert sends his back up top. Across midfield down to the 45. What a catch by Bo Tate. And he did it all on the ground after the catch.
Yeah, fantastic move. One cut and he was gone. I think the prior play was actually direct snap to Porter Brockman. I think we called the wrong number. And Brockman it looks like he's a receiver, running back, so that's why he moves well.
So 1st and 10, great run that time by Bo Tate. Calvert, a lot of times, steps up in the pocket and wide.
You step into the throw, and it tends to not sail, especially if you're rolling. You want to be running at the receiver. Take that step towards the receiver when you throw the ball.
So it'll be 2nd and 10.
The Skyline side, for me, has shown a lot of athletic ability. And the big question is, can they convert on that? Can they take advantage of that opportunity?
Calvert, nice block pickup on the blitz.
Yeah, that's a heads-up play. Live to play another day, I'd say. But he did show good escapability in the pocket there. He stepped up, made a man miss. He's very confident in the pocket. He'll step one way or another and make the guys miss. That's good quarterback coaching, and that's a good quarterback play when you have a guy that can feel the pressure. He doesn't have to see it all the time. He can feel it. For Skyline, now you're 3rd and 10. And you say, all right, what do we have? What's a 10-yard play? And for Skyline, actually, they've had quite a few of those.
Calvert, nice route run right at the sticks. The comeback, and he's across the 30. Nice job that time. That's Miles Hall with the reception.
Yeah, Hall, two-way player for these guys. And it was unique. I watched him run upfield, and he sold the deep route, and he came right back at the sticks. So he saw the sticks, planted his foot, and came back. Ball was out before.
Idaho game night on IdahoSports.com.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories, employ your neighbors, and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
All right, welcome back to Middleton, 7-3 on this opening game of the season for Post Falls. If you're from Skyline listening in, you've already been here, done that. This isn't weekend on Idaho Sports. We're actually the 3rd game to get kicked off just today. You think, hey, 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, I'm watching football. Must be the first one. No, you're not. 11 o'clock, we had a game over in eastern Idaho at Madison High School in the Rocky Mountain Rumble, and that one was won, I found out, by South Summit. they defeated Marsh Valley 47-13. Bracken Lashley was the player of the game. He had 6, touch 10. Skyline across the middle, and that one's going to be intercepted. Threw it to 2 different Trojans. Coming away with it, big number 44, Cripps. Cripps still on his feet, and Cripps down to the 35. So not a good decision by Calvert on the first play of the quarter. Just threw it right at 2 black jerseys, and they almost didn't intercept.
It up high enough for his man. Looks like he underthrew it, but you look at the defender, big linebacker gets his hands on the ball, bobbles it a little bit, was able to come with it, and you could tell he smelled blood. He was heading upfield, knocking guys over.
So 2 takeaways now on the day for Post Falls. A chance to take the lead here on this drive. That handoff up the middle to Tevin Burns, and Burns bobbled it.
Just on the hand on the ground, 3 down linemen rushing 3, but then they're bringing a 4th man, it seems like, from all over the field.
2nd and 11. This pass to the right side, short one, but breaking free after contact. Still forward and across the marker. First down, Post Falls. That time, Asher Bowie does it all on his own on the ground.
It was a great read. Young, he's still getting his arm strength behind him. They're going to be short routes. I don't see him pushing the ball down the field, so you're going to need your receivers to start creating yards after the catch.
First down, coming left on another screen, and that one dropped.
And
Osland just dropped it.
Just dropped it. If I'm Skyline, I expect that. Don't expect a ball to go deeper than 10 yards. Everything's going to be around the line of scrimmage, and they're going to try to spread you out, get the ball out there quick laterally.
2nd and 10. McEwen, nice pass across the middle. Great look. And that time, Osland brings it in. But we've got a flag in the backfield.
That'll be a legal formation. There were too many men on the line of scrimmage. The tight end was covered. The tight end was covered.
An eligible receiver is what they say.
Which is that tight end, he's covered, and then he moves down the field.
He can't go downfield at that point, right? So a great play down the field. First time we've seen Post Falls go down the field, and they can't convert. Well, they do convert, but a penalty brings it back. So it'll be 2nd and 15. 10:30 to go in the first half.
It's going to be the same thing. Here we go.
By Burns, and Burns gets some of the penalty yards back and more. He'll be just shy of midfield, brings up 3rd and about 8.
Burns was pretty proud of that run when he finished it. Stood over the guy and told him about it.
And they're quick to the line, wasting no time. This one across the middle and dropped.
Again.
And he was right at the sticks. Might have brought up a 4th and 1. They're going to go for it here. Or at least maybe try to get him to jump. No, they do. Quick pass over the defense, and it's caught by Bowie. Bowie down to the 20, to the 15.
Oh, they crossed up the defenders. One man went underneath. The outside man went underneath, and then they shielded the guys. They got a screen from the 2 defenders. They knocked.
So a run by Burns that time picks up about nothing. But Austin, great job to just get behind the defense, gets in the right spot, and the ball was right on the money.
And Post Falls is calling it a simple enough passing game. It's complex in the read, but it's
First and 10, or 2nd and 10, excuse me. And a nice pass again to Osland, and he can't get through the first tackler. Nice wrap up by Joseph Johnson on that.
And Post Falls has Skyline.
I got him.
You got him.
Play of the game comes from the booth. And then pass wide open in the end zone. He just can't connect. Wide open back there. That was Bowie. It's just a little too high. That's one McEwen wants back.
Yeah, McEwen does want that one back. He had blown coverage, and his tight end, big tight end, slipped free, and he's big. He's 6'6", so to overthrow that 6'6" kid, you got to miss big.
It's one of those. 7 Post Falls will bring on the kicker once again. This one up. It's got the leg by far, but not on target.
So Skyline comes up with a stop, as it looked like both teams are going to be able to move the ball downfield. Offensively, both teams look like they're going to be able to do it.
So that was Brandt that came on for the kick. It had the leg. It's always being behind the goalpost for kicks. Outside of that, I don't like it. But, you know, when you're on the side here, it's just hard to tell if it's good or not. But I thought it looked good from here, but obviously it wasn't. So the score will stay 7-3.
Yeah, he fleshed his big leg, though. He has a big leg. He put it up there. He straightened that thing out, and we could be a 1-point ball game.
So 1st and 10 now for Skyline. Again, a lot of great formation tackle there by number 22, Blair Crane.
Skyline and any high school team throwing that big long out for short gains. It doesn't, it's a 5-yard gain, so it's worth it. But boy, it allows the defender to break on that. Unless you have Josh Allen Cannon trying to get that ball out for them to be able to create some space, unless the defender's way off, it's just tough to do.
Second quarter. Calvert thought about it and quickly throws, and just a little too low for Jackson Castleton.
Yeah, Castleton had Green in front of him. He had a whole bunch. If he would have hit him in stride, I don't think the safety makes it over in time, and that kid's taking it 75 yards.
And looked like he had the speed, like you said, if he can just get around it. But and, hey, credit to them, though, for getting the pressure, making Calvert get out of his first and second reads and find something on the run. So 3rd and 5. Calvert drops back a short screen up the middle, and he makes the first man miss, second man miss. A lot of room to run on the right side. He's across the 40, out at the 43-yard line. Great job by Brockman to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, he went complete opposite of where the sideline, big gain.
Now, Trevor Miller almost wrapped him up almost immediately for post falls, but he ends up getting away. So 1st and 10, ball at the 43. Calvert across the middle, and that one intercepted. But there's going to be a flag come in.
Flag needs to be thrown, right? But it's so close to the line of scrimmage.
I mean, it's only 2 yards downfield.
Right, and I think that's illegal contact at that point. I don't think that's maybe not illegal contact. I don't know what you call it, so we'll leave it to the refs. How's that?
And it almost, that's just one of those where it's bang, bang. There is a flag in the backfield as well. So a flag around the point of the interception, a flag in the backfield.
So I like Calvert. I like his moxie back there. He shows really good poise. He's able to move around the pocket really well. He has made a couple of decisions that kind of make you raise your eyebrows trying to get rid of things. So maybe you go back if you're the Skyline staff and you say, hey, and if it looks bad, throw it in the ground. We can't afford to give up a turnover right now.
So they get out of it. 1st and 10, 7:58 to go. Logan Clark laying the boom as soon as the receiver brought it down. And I tell you what, Jackson Castleton, he'll be feeling that all the way back to Salt Lake.
Yeah, he goes back to his quarterback, Calvert, and says, hey, don't do that to me again, please. I didn't appreciate that.
My goodness.
That being said, it was a 6-yard gain, 5-yard gain.
You'll take it on 1st down. Calvert goes right and looked like still going to be on the outside of the hash.
Yeah, I think that was an option route. Those option routes look at when you go up there, you make the option, you say where the defender is going to go, and then you choose to go the opposite way. He read in, Calvert read out, incomplete pass.
So 3rd and 5. Run left side by Brockman, and he has got the 1st down up to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to have a hold.
So this hold, the flag down, it is a hold.
It looks like a block, illegal block. What a benefit to be able to say we can get 5 yards. We're confident we're going to hand the ball off and get 5 yards.
And they've been able to do it pretty much whenever they've wanted so far today. Really, just a couple of turnovers is really what's kind of bit the Eagles. Other than that, they've been able to effectively move the ball.
Yeah.
So it's 3rd and 10 now. 7:16 to go in the second. Again, thanks for joining us. North Idaho game night here on here on IdahoSports.com. Presented by the Trojans, going deep, and it's caught. What a catch! Up the left sideline by Miles Hall, goes up and over the defense and brings it down at the 5.
Wow, Calvert's size, man. He saw man-to-man. Even in the safety rotated over deep, but he knew that not many people can stay up with Miles. Ball turned over, reached back, and made the catch.
And this one up the middle. Did he get in? Yes.
Allowed Brockman to just do his thing up there, made one little cut, drug a man into the end zone for the touchdown. On that last play, though, one of the things that you probably or hopefully saw was how the ball turned over. It was a really pretty pass, and Calvert throws a pretty ball. He looks the part as the quarterback. When I say turnover, it means the point of the nose. turned over and started heading downhill.
On the ground, back to the holder. Post Falls was in the backfield, and somehow that knuckleball gets over the bars.
Yeah, it looks like they got a hand on it. Post Falls did. Maybe helped it a little bit, popped it up. Who knows?
It was a bad snap, and they're lucky to get it. So another touchdown on the board. So tell you, just at least from my point of view, I think Post Falls has really kind of controlled a couple of trips, a couple of takeaways for them, but haven't really been able to convert those into touchdowns.
Yeah, but Skyline's been able to move the ball. Skyline has been effective. I mean, they're 3rd and 5, and they're able to say, hey, you know what, we're going to go ahead and just punch it up the gut, and we know we're going to move the ball effectively. That being said, I don't see Post Falls as being outplayed. I don't see them being outclassed or outsized. If anything, I think Post Falls is just kind of getting their feet underneath them, and they're going to be able to, we'll call it rally at this point and start putting some points on the board. But I don't see, I see a.
So Skyline set to boot it away here. Cooper will kick it off. This one's going to die and roll out of bounds. Good heads-up move. I believe that's Bowie back there who waited for it to hit the 5-yard line, and it waited for the bounce and saw that it went.
Post Falls again, go back to what worked. You had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of that pick plays because you see Skyline's playing a lot of man-to-man defense, and you want to run a lot of crossing routes, you cross up defenders, creating a lot of space for the young quarterback to be able to just throw to a spot.
Post Falls just, they've got to catch the ball. They've kind of been their own worst enemy. They've got to stop committing turnovers or penalties and catching the ball. So a run game.
Yeah, Bustamante is a between the tackles kind of guy, and he was trying to rally to the outside, but he's more of a between the tackles guy.
So 2nd and 10. That pass not even really close to Bustamante. Hits the ground short, so a quick 3rd and 10 coming up. 6:36 to go in the first half.
It felt like a wasted play. I watched the quarterback the whole time.
And they get a couple of different Eagles to jump. Great hard count.
That's one way to pick up another 5.
So 3rd and 10, now 3rd and 5. Definitely a different play call here for the Trojans.
Yeah, I think they've shown that they can do quite a few things from here. So I think you open up the playbook. You have 5-yard plays to be able to call from here.
All day to throw, and a short pass, and the first down going to be converted that time. That's Ostland. Thought he might have had to read across the middle to Rutherford, but hey, either way, it's a first down.
Ostland, I mean, luck of the Irish, I think the defender helped bat it back into him. It was thrown behind him, and then he was able to bat it away from the defender. He had some open space upfield after that.
A couple different Eagles in on that. Looked like Jackson Madison was the main one in there for Skyline.
I like that between the tackles with Bustamante. That's what you're looking for. Make him knock some guys over.
Quickly to the line. Bustamante again up the middle into the second level across the 35. Leg, and he's a little frustrated down there. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, he's hurting.
He's grabbing the back of his
heel.
Looks like number 10, Thane Sedgwick.
This is Sedgwick, the senior. That's tough. You hate getting hurt your senior year, especially this early in the season.
You hope it's here on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
We're Valley Agronomics, and if you want them, take advantage of the newest technologies. Whether you farm 1,000 acres or you're just starting out, we will be here for everything you need to help your farm grow. We're proud to employ your neighbors and be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley Agronomics, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
If you don't know what's possible, it's hard to ask, what if, at Next Steps.
And welcome back as Sedgwick is up and moving and not putting much weight on his right leg, but looks to be.
That's not a good sign. The way he was holding it, and I'm not going to guess, but it looked like an ankle Achilles type injury as they were grabbing the lower part of his leg towards his foot.
Hopefully just another run this time, but swallowed up in the backfield. Big number 78, Jody Moore.
Yeah, Miles Hall came in too on that blitz. They brought him all the way from the safety. And you can see the adjustment now. Skyline's bringing men towards the line of scrimmage saying, all right, hey, you're going to have to beat us man-to-man on the outside with your receivers because we are going to defend the line.
So a loss of 2 on that, 2nd and 20.
There's no receiver even close, but.
Yeah, the ball never made it across the line of scrimmage. He was still, quote, in the pocket, and there was nobody there, but they're going to. He's going to come drop the flag. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the right call. I mean, you hate to see it for Post Falls, but it's the right call.
I mean, if he doesn't do that, he's getting sacked.
Yeah.
So, if you hadn't have done what you did,
yep.
It's you could say all you want. Well, the hold didn't affect the play. Well, the block in the back didn't affect the play. You can say all you want with those. You could argue, but you can't say that with that. That literally was the play.
Yeah, that's a great point. And there was no argument from the Post Falls side either. They knew it too.
So 3rd and 28. 4 verticals, you got to think here. Just kidding.
There, he threw a beautiful ball. If Austin would have just kept running, he stopped to look for the ball and reach, but you've got to keep running. I mean, he had him. He beat him. There was nobody deep. And you can see Skyline doesn't respect the deep ball with him, so when he's able to get that out and your receivers get past him, you got to convert that.
So punt coming up for Post Falls. So another great drive for the Trojans. Just another great punt. It's going to die at the 11. I tell you, it was really close to hitting Spencer Grant, one of the blockers back there for Skyline.
Most unorthodox, great punt of the night. He kicked it, and he was trying to avoid it getting blocked. It went off the side of his foot and side spun out to the inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that punt was spinning, but not the up and down. It was spinning long way.
It was.
And,
yeah, and look, you had good stuff happening. You're starting to see good stuff happen. If you're Post Falls, take heart in that. You still have, 5 minutes left in the second quarter, and you have a whole second half. I do think that they're going to be able to put it together, though.
And Post Falls kicked off to start the game, so they'll get the first possession of the second half. Nice run this time up the middle. I believe that was Brockman again.
Guy, but he's a very physical runner, especially through the tackles. He's kind of hard to bring down that low center of gravity.
So another handoff to Brockman, and he gets maybe a yard. So 3rd and about 4. Ball on the 20. That'll be 3rd and 2. So they need a 22-yard line. Ball at the 20. Calvert across the middle, and that one almost intercepted. Cripps was looking for his second pick of the day. And, man, if he can get 2 hands on that, there's not many people on the right side of the field going to stop him.
Cripps was watching his eyes the whole time, and the quarterback didn't deviate. He locked onto his receiver and waited for him to clear, but Cripps just baited him a little and knocked it down.
So 4th down, can't imagine Skylar hits at the 39 and still rolling and scoots out of bounds at the 32. So a good punt by Calvert flips the field for Skyline.
Those were shades of Doug Flutie being able to going out there and kicking all kinds of stuff. But great job by Calvert. Calvert, you can see he's a good athlete, and I was saying that before. I mean, he moves well, and you can see he kicked the ball. It's a great punt. And he put it in a spiral. Post Falls now, you go back to what you do. You got to continue to try and move the ball every play.
So 1st and 10, another crack at it here for Post Falls. This time on the jet sweep, getting past the first level was Oslin. Tell you, he 2 or 3 more steps, and he is around the defense there.
I see the big offensive line now starting to kind of take over a little bit. You can see how they're locking down the defensive line.
By Skyline, we'll take one with them. We'll be right back here on North Idaho Game Night on IdahoSports.com.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
want to thank again Mountain West Bank for being the sponsor of North Idaho Game Night. Just be sure to thank the great sponsors that make Idaho sports possible. You know, we're here, website with score schedules around the state, features, polls, photos, game broadcasts, all of this, and, you know, it doesn't cost you a dime. So just be sure to support those businesses that help bring this to you live and free on IdahoSports.com. And up, I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Yeah, good pursuit on the Skyline side, able to get out there and wrap up really well. And tackled backwards, right? Didn't tackle forward, didn't let him lean into that. A couple guys gang tackled him, moved him backwards.
So 3rd and 4, this looks like a great Bustamante opportunity. And he's great catch that time. That's Shields down the right side all the way to the 23, 1st and 10.
Skyline ran the picket fence defense, so the second level or that first level lined up across and dared him to throw there. 2 safeties deep.
Motion man is Ostlin, and he gets past the first one just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Bo Tate was there in the backfield, almost brings him down for a loss, but he scoots forward, and I think he might have picked up a foot on that.
And it's that same play that they're running there with 2 safeties.
This pass across the middle is caught at the 15 or the 10. Nice grab. Once again, Shields. So Shields picking up some good yardage, probably roughly 50 yards on this drive alone for the Trojans, and they have a 1st and goal at the 8. The middle, knifing his way through, down to the 1. 2:20 to go here. Post Falls threatening to score for the first touchdown of the day. Again, they got the field goal. They didn't miss a field goal earlier. So a timeout going to be called by Skyline. 2:17 to go. Worried. I know Skyline does have 2 scores, but those were shorter fields that they were able to punch it in on. Skyline has not shown they're going to go deep, and you know if they get this thing in, that coming out, Brant is going to boot that thing for a touchback for Post Falls. So if they can get it in here, they might be able to scoot out at halftime, maybe 14-10.
Or across the front. Then they have across with their tight end and their 2 receivers. Everybody's over 6 foot. They're going up against some of these shorter defensive backs, and they're starting to make it happen. Now, Bustamante, he's a tough kid between the tackles. We talked about it before. And this is Post Falls time. Like we said, they hadn't played a game, trying to understand their scheme, get it together. And you and I talked about this earlier. The lost art of lining up under center. He's going to,
like you said, shotgun formation for this 2nd and goal from the 1. And Bustamante, though, no problem as he walks in for the touchdown. And Post Falls is in the end zone for the first time today.
Great play calling across the board. A great play calling all the way into the end zone. And Bustamante, you have him between the tackles. He's a guaranteed 3-yard gain. Way to
wedges it up and through.
Look, we have a ball game. We have a ball game.
So 2:14 to go in the first half here. Post Falls will kick it away, and that'll give a great 2-minute drive opportunity for Skyline. But I beat us. If we don't let Miles Hall beat us, we'll probably be all right on this, and I don't think that's a wrong way to look at it. If they can contain Hall, they've shown that Calvert might make a mistake. He has thrown a couple interceptions, thrown a couple more that didn't count. So he's made a couple mistakes short and across the middle, but going deep to Hall has been very effective for them.
Option, because if you're deep and you got to move the ball, if you want to throw the ball deep, you know it's going to go to Hall. So they rotate the safety over, they bracket him. Hall's been able to outrun that coverage, but you just adjust to that. So Calvert has to regroup here and start looking at other completions, other people, and making that right read, and be okay throwing the ball away if needs be.
So there's the kick, another one. This one low, does not get to the end zone, still rolling, and going to be picked. Brockman picked it up at the 2 and then dropped it, and he's going to get it out to the 11. He's very lucky that, okay, it's at the 12. They're very lucky to be at the 12 and not around the 3 or 4.
And if you're Skyline, you say, hey, more yards to gain, right? Like, let's make
Why not?
Let's make lemonade at this point, because that was terrible. He should be able to pick that up, and he's very sure-handed. That's a
88 yards in front of him, and like we said, 2:06 to do it with. Calvert taking his time. You can hear a pin drop in here. Screen on the right. Nice block upfield by Skyline. Looks like, was that? Wait, picked up 9 yards.
Miles Hall's on the field now, so watch out if you are Post Falls. Make sure you bracket him. You got to know where number 2 is on the field at all times. Yeah, that's going to be offsides.
So Skyline was not lined up as they should. And Miles Hall was going deep. He's being guarded right now by Dylan Wolf from Post Falls.
Has legit speed. I think he's a track kid too, if I'm not mistaken.
So 2nd and 7 now. And where do they go? Right to him on the right side. Screen pass comes in and he gets the first down, but I think Post Falls will let him have those short little gains and eat up some clock.
And if you're Post Falls, you can pin your ears back.
So the clock's at 124. They want it at 129. Guess it kept running after the tackle. Calvert gets the snap, eats up clock. I think Post Falls is okay with it at this point.
Yeah, it looks like Skyline is too. They're calling in routes instead of out routes.
Calvert rolls left and another flag.
Yeah, that's 12 men on the field, but I think you're supposed to let that play out. I think that's a free play.
You know what? If you like it, you keep it. If not, you do it again.
Yeah, I don't think that's a dead ball. I think they blow it dead. But whatever. Hey, it's the refs, and they made the call, and let's play ball.
So 1st and 10. Another screen. Room to run. Good blocking up front, and he's right at midfield with a minute to go. So it's taking him a minute to go about 40 yards, and they've got a minute more to go another 50. Calvert, he's going to go deep, and he's got a man wide open and caught into the end zone. Touchdown. Porter Brockman found himself wide open in the middle of the field with 42 seconds to go in the half, and Skyline goes on an 88-yard touchdown drive in about a minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah, Calvert shows us why he's the senior quarterback. He drops it in there. Now, when the ball went in the air, he looked back and with nobody there. He thought, oh, now this is over.
Extra point is up and good. So Skyline, just like that. And I don't think Brockman was the one everybody was expecting to see on a 50-yard reception, but that's exactly what happened. Makes it 21-10. So the last 3 touchdowns have all been scored by number 5, different colored number 5s. But hey, you got the Post Falls.
Yeah, and I look at that pass. That was a beautiful pass over the top. And I got to think the defensive coordinator's just got to be pulling his hair out, saying, "What? I mean, hey, we had him.
Right.
They burned up a minute just getting that far, and they were, and then it looked. Brockman ran the seam route, and they dropped it over the top for the touchdown.
So, coming in to kick it off for Skyline. Number 13. Again, that is Zane Cooper. He'll boot it away. Down to the 40. So 36 seconds to go for Post Falls, and I think they like their chances here to maybe be able to punch something in themselves on a short field with just a couple seconds left. So definitely you can see they probably don't want to keep it on the ground. Bustamante stays out on the sideline right now for Post Falls. Quick pass to the right side, and he was past the sticks. That was Rutherford. He's going to have a first down if he can bring it in, but he just drops it. So it'll be 2nd down, 31 seconds to go. And we keep getting visited by the Wasps. Bowie hadn't turned around before that pass got there. So back in is Bustamante in the backfield. with McEwen. This time they hand it off to Bustamante. He's over the 45, still on his feet, down to the 49. He needed 22 seconds to go. They might wait as long as they can. No, they don't. Bustamante with the run. He's got the first down across midfield, down to the 45, and he's still going down to the 40. He's still on his feet, and they finally blow it dead. 7 seconds left at the 38.
It's going to be your bread and butter in the second half. Those guys tend to not wear out in 100-degree weather.
So 2 nice runs by Bustamante gets Post Falls in decent position. I doubt this is field goal range. This would be a long field goal even for an NFL kicker. This would be roughly a 55-yarder.
Well, hey, we had some crazy things happen at the
play that gave Boise one more play, and they ended up scoring on a rough, I think it was about a 38-yard pass.
Yeah, about identical situation at that point. And this is what you do. You throw it deep, you hope for a pass interference, and you get an untimed down, and anything can happen at that point. Or you just kick a field goal, take the points.
So if he can pick up about 15 yards on this and get a, Brandt has shown that he can kick it.
I think they have one timeout left too, don't they? They might. I think they do have one timeout left, and so, look, a typical play lasts about 7 seconds. So this has got to be a quick hitter, or like I said, you take it deep and you look for a pass interference or a penalty.
No one back with McEwen. Ball at the 30. So right now it would be around a 45-yard field goal if they wanted to do it. But you know what? That only took 3 seconds. If they can do the exact same thing and pick up 4 or 5 more, they might like their chances.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I mean, that was a quick bang-bang play.
Nobody back. They're trying to get the jump. Side and incomplete. 1 second to go, so this will do it. Good fingers down in the press box, hitting it right at the moment. And it does look like Brandt is coming on to kick.
That's the right call. This is the right call. He showed big leg. Let's see what he can do.
40, he's going to put the ball at the 38. So a 48-yard, 47-yard kick coming from Brandt back of the end zone. That needed to be about 6 yards closer.
16.
And he would have been close-ish.
He had to get it up over the top. He couldn't have just hit at the end. Yeah, he didn't strike that well. He's had a couple kickoffs where he's just thumped it right in the middle of the ball, and that one looked like he got underneath it.
So that'll do it for our first half. Skyline leads Post Falls all in the first half right here on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limit. Accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, and giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking. What if? Education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
The injuries look like those seen in people exposed to poisons like mustard gas. That's how doctors are describing what they see in the lungs of vapors. The chemicals can essentially burn your lungs. Find the truth that behind.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path,
Accomplished, I feel amazing.
it takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For one, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created. With everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Really up and down, and by the score indicates a big Skyline lead, which it is, and I think the game's a little bit closer than that score indicates. Let's tell you how we got there. First quarter of play, the first score at the 8:32 mark of the first quarter, a 9-yard touchdown catch by number 21, Race Walker Adams, got the scoring started for Skyline. Post Falls answered back at the 4:52 mark with a 31-yard field goal by Andon Brandt. Made it 7-3. Skyline still with the lead. Skyline answered in the second quarter, 7-minute mark, a 5-yard run by number 5, Porter Brockman. Coming back a couple minutes later, a 1-yard run by number 5, Jake Bustamante, got Post Falls with their first touchdown. And then a 50-yard, the big play of the half, a 50-yard touchdown catch by number 5, Porter Brockman, to end the half. Brockman got behind the defense and was wide open in the middle of the feeding kickoff here in the second half to get things started. Again, thanks for joining us here on IdahoSports.com. It's North Idaho game night from Middleton. And it is hot here today, so if you made the choice to just watch from home instead of making the long drive, you might have made the good choice. It's a great game. It's fun to be here, but, man, it is warm. Like we said, there is nobody just sitting out here. Everybody is under some sort of shade, whether it's a tent or umbrella, us included in that. I'm glad I left it in the back of the car. So great afternoon for football, though, otherwise, here from Middleton. You can tell Middleton just absolutely booming. I actually live in Middleton, so it's a short drive over here for me, but you can see all the houses kind of around the stadium. Back when I did my first game at Middleton here 4 or 5 years ago, none of those houses existed all around, just to kind of give you an idea of how much the Treasure Valley area is growing here in Idaho. But again, you know, Post Falls, depending on which way they went, they had to go through 2 different states to get here. If they took the highway route through Tri-Cities, Washington, and then through La Grande, Oregon to get here, while Utah or Skyline only had to make 1 border hop. So just an interesting dynamic with Utah or with Idaho. Well, we've made this comment on other broadcasts, but you look down in southern Idaho, teams like Malad, Westside, Preston, where it's actually closer for them to go play a game against a team from Las Vegas than it would be to play a team from northern Idaho, like a Clark Fork or so, a Sandpoint or Bonners Ferry, just because of the distance to get to North Idaho. There's just no easy way to do it. So, but we're glad to see Post Falls down here. We're glad to see Skyline Utah up here joining together for this great game, meeting in the middle. This is a game that I really think that Post Falls really done a good job keeping the game on the ground. They've had some incompletions, but on the other side, the big plays have gone to Skyline. They've been able to make that long touchdown place and really do it when they've needed to do it, and they have a 21-10 lead. Again, be sure to check back to IdahoSports.com, at least for you Post Falls fans out there. I believe we're scheduled for 6 or 7 Trojan games this year. You can't beat that to have all these broadcasts on Idaho Sports. Should be fantastic. Should be a great year of Post Falls football on Idaho Sports. Again, you can check the Friday Night Flash today on Idaho Sports. You want to follow scores from around the state. It is going to be a busy night here in Idaho's games all over the place. This is opening week. A few teams here and there might not be playing, but for the most part, everybody underway tonight. I believe there are 70 games involving Idaho. Those 70 are cross-state, but the other 60 are not. So it should be a great season here. Post Falls, again, we mentioned it. They just missed out on the playoffs a year ago. Kind of were snubbed with that Max Preps ranking, but from what I've seen in the first half, Post Falls should be in the thick of it this year. Of course, going on right now, of note to Post Falls fans, Lewiston playing in the Rock. Get a quick check-in of that game for you here if we can pull it up. And, hey, while I'm getting that pulled up, don't forget, if you want to order this game, just go ahead and click. If you go back to digital game download, you can order it there. You can keep this game forever. You want to continue to watch it year after year, cut it, make highlights, do whatever you want to do with it. That's all yours. Just click buy the digital download right now, or after this game is all said and done if you want to check that out. We'd love to have you do. Right now, 2-0 Utah is against, or 1-0 Utah is against Idaho schools, with 2 others that are in hand. Well, this game, I wouldn't say it's in hand, but that one game, Layton and Lewiston, pretty much in hand right now. 31-6, again, Layton over Lewiston. Of course, Lewiston won the Capitola team off to a rough start at the 5A level this year. They've played 2 games so far, 2 Thursday nights games, and have kind of gotten beaten pretty good. They lost 21-0 to Bora last week, and then just got thumped by Bishop Kelly last night. I believe it was 41-6 was the final. So right now, Capital kind of working from behind after that. The clock says 2.5 minutes. No teams are out here. It's a long halftime. They put 15 minutes on the clock. 3:30 here. From Middleton. You can catch us. We're going to head, as soon as this is over, we're going to pack it up and kind of follow the Post Falls bus up Highway 95, if that's the way they went. We're headed to Weiser after this for a great non-conference matchup between Weiser and Buell. That's a rematch of a first-round playoff from a year ago. Of course, Weiser won the 3A state championship last year, and they'll be looking to defend the crown. But that first-round game was against Buell. 2 different teams this year. A lot of people like Buell at the 3A, and Weiser, of course, lost their all-state quarterback Brock Spencer to graduation. He is at ISU. And I'm a little nervous about the wind starting to pick up here, this tent we've got. Hopefully it doesn't decide it wants to take off. Guess we'll just keep a hand on it. Well, we'll take one more quick break and be right back with the start of the second half here on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
And welcome back as the teams are out warming up. A minute to go on the clock here as we get set to start the third quarter.
Yeah, Logan, we have a hot one, and so I'm going to go ahead and just give a little Treasure Valley background for those listeners up in Post Falls. I was just talking to some Skyline fans on the site. I said, hey, you know, from Idaho here, we actually have 3 states in the state of Idaho. And they said, what do you mean by that? And I said, we have East Idaho. Eastern Idaho, the capital of Eastern Idaho is Salt Lake City. It's quicker, it's easier to get to Salt Lake City. And they just laughed. I said, then you have Southwest Idaho starting at about Twin Falls over to us here, and this is where we are. And then we have North Idaho, which is a completely different state. And they just said, really? And I said, yeah, we love these guys, but we really don't know them. They have nothing to do with this. As a matter of fact, you guys, it was a quicker drive for you guys than it was for Post Falls, and they just started laughing. So that being said, Southwest Idaho is hot.
It is. And, you know, I've lived in Eastern Idaho. I've lived in northern Idaho. Moscow, so the Palouse. You know, Alex has lived there too. So, sorry, Alex. Say it one more time. You were quiet.
It's great up there. I suggest you visit.
All right. So Alex tells us to visit, but there's
not really much to do.
So Alex throwing Moscow under the bus, but either way. And then I live here, and each one is there. It's crazy. They are all completely different. You know, living up there, you get more of that Pacific Northwest feel. You get the rain more throughout the year. You get the more cold during the year. Eastern Idaho, it's just always cold and always windy. Every time, my wife's family is from the Rigby area, so we go over there a lot. And I just feel like every time I go over there, I'm like, man, I forget how windy it is over here. It's just always windy, and it just seems like it's always snowing. And over here, I tell people, it's just different.
It's just different.
It is
high desert.
You know, it doesn't snow a ton here, right? You know, it definitely snows more in Post Falls and definitely snows more in Salt Lake than it does here in the Treasure Valley. And then, you know, once about mid-April comes, the rain stops and you don't see it again until October. So you might see it here and there, but it's not common.
All right, so here's a fun little fact for you. We have had more days of 100 degrees or more this summer than any other day at 21, and we are going to hit 22 to 23 by the time it breaks. That's hot. That's Phoenix hot, and it gets hot in this valley. I mean, we're only 2,300 feet elevation here compared to Salt Lake, where you're around 45. Skyline High School sits at about 4,700 feet.
So the onside kick, and what a recovery by Post Falls. What a heads-up move. That was Trevor Miller. Miller was going back, and he just twisted around just enough as Skyline tried to come out hot on the onside kick and do just one of those little dribble kicks where they follow it through and pick it up. And, you know, this same exact spot, I saw that done last week in a game for Middleton High School where we're at against their opponent, and they came out and threw a touchdown pass on the first play after it. So I've seen that twice to open the season. Here we go, 1st and 10, Post Falls. As Bustamante takes it in a great tackle. That was Miles Hall with the wrap-up stop.
Yeah, and they ran a run blitz on that. And a run blitz, for those who don't know, they get up in the box. They don't go pursue the quarterback. They wait for the handoff. But Miles from the backfield, defensive backfield, came up and stayed in the box. So that is a run blitz, knowing they're going to hand the ball off on 1st down.
So 2nd down and 11. They'll say he lost a yard. Quick pass to the left, and that one just short. And we've seen that a couple of times from McCune.
Yeah, McCune, when he steps, because he doesn't have a big arm, he has to use his body to get the ball there. And when he steps into it, he actually puts the ball downfield. When he just tries to whip it out there, we've seen the ball fall short a few times.
So 3rd down, 3rd and 11. Quick 3rd down, as we're only 30 seconds into this 3rd quarter. McCune going to go across the middle. He's got a man open and a big hit.
Oh.
Bo Tate left no doubt on that hit.
I saw that receiver bend sideways. He bent backwards on that one. Now, here's a tricky one. This is an interesting one. They're sending on the punt team.
It's only 4th and 2, and you've seen them go for it in lesser situations, so they can't take advantage of the great field position, recovering the trick onside kick, and they're still trying to shuffle players around here.
Yeah, and they have Bustamante, and we know he runs really well between the tackles. Ah, there it is.
A fake up the left side and a 1st down by Burns. So a direct snap to Burns, and he scoots over up to the 42-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, we had a little trepidation up here saying, I don't know if that's exactly what they want to do, but the fake punt, pretty obvious fake punt area territory to do that, and they executed it well for the 1st down.
Again, just want to remind you, you can order the copy of this game. You saw it as you came into the broadcast down there. You can order your own copy to download and keep forever if you're interested in doing that. Here's the 1st down handoff, and staying on his feet, and Burns gets 2 yards. He was going to be wrapped up in the backfield, but he did a great job falling forward and landing with that ball right on the 40.
Burns is a change of pace back for Post Falls. When you give him the ball, you expect a little bit of space for him to be able to move and be a little bit more nimble in there, but Skyline collapsed that really quickly.
2nd and 8. Burns, great cut right at the 40. Gets up to the 36, but he made a great move on Jonas Slinting to get some yardage. Great move.
Slinting is batting his head after that, saying, dang it, I had him.
And Burns is going to lose a yard on 3rd down. I'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so 4th and about 5.
Yeah, and they're still in that same got-to-go-for-it territory. It doesn't make sense to punt as much, and you know you have a bit. But Bustamante hasn't been in the backfield on this drive, but It is a go-for-it territory.
McCune across, and it bounces around, and 3 different players could have intercepted that one, including a reception for Post Falls, but nobody gets it. It was intended for Austin Rutherford, but not able to come up with the reception. A couple different players could have picked it off. Nothing there, and it'll bring up a first down for Skyline.
Yeah, good thing he didn't catch that one on his dive. You would have lost yardage, but if you catch it on the run, there was nobody on the Post Falls side that could have caught him. That would have been a touchdown all the way into the end zone. So Skyline holds, and we see it. Now we're going to see offensively what the quarterback can do, because they finished with a bang at the end of the quarter, at the end of the half. And let's see if they carry that momentum moving forward. I kind of feel like they've maybe settled into a little bit more of the play calling that they're looking to do.
So 1st and 10. Calvert goes on a screen left side, and a flag comes out quickly. I assume it'll come back, and it's too bad. Great run by Luke Wright all the way over the 40. But
yeah, it was a legal man downfield. The offensive lineman released too soon. He needed to stay in there a little bit more, and he didn't even need to. I mean, the receiver had that first defender blocked. They should have held it for just a little bit longer.
And this is what has killed both teams today, is penalties on 1st and 2nd down that make it long, and 20 yards to go. Where a good drive, a good play is negated by one of these, and this one is only going to be, it ends up being about a 5-yard penalty at the end of the day, but it wipes out about a 25-yard gain. So it'll be 1st and 15, and an offsides gets it back. So we'll just restart. We'll just call it all a mulligan. It'll be 1st and 10 for Skyline.
Oh, and we're back to 1st and 10. I did see that right tackle twitch a little bit, but obviously the referees didn't get a look at that, but that's okay.
So they want to keep the clock running here. They blow the whistle, and it is ticking now.
Boy, it's silent, and it's crazy how silent, and no cheerleaders, and you can hear everything from the referees, from the coaches on the field.
It's just definitely a different environment here today. Calvert goes out wide, and that pass dropped but picked up, and able to pick up a couple of yards for Jackson Castleton. Well, like you said, Ryan, I mean, there's a couple of fans across the way from Salt Lake. I don't know, maybe the 30, 50, 50. And maybe about the same over here is not a lot. So 2nd and 8. Calvert rolls right, and he'll throw it across the middle. Great catch in traffic is Castleton, and he'll be right at the first down line.
Boy, you tell young quarterbacks not to throw across your body. I mean, that's the ultimate no-no. But as he got closer to the sideline, he saw his man, and he did something that if you're going to do it, you have to start running towards the line of scrimmage. You can't keep fading towards the sideline. So he took a step towards the line of scrimmage and snuck it in there, and he put it right on the button.
And Post Falls got to be aware that Calvert is going to do that. He is going to go to the sideline, and he won't run it. We have not – I mean, he probably would, but we have not seen it. We have not seen him take that run. He's mostly just waited and been patient and found a receiver as he's going towards either line, and he's been pretty successful. 1st and 10, 8:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Calvert going to go deep this time, overshoots everybody. That time he was looking for Walker Adams. And they're going to throw a pass interference flag here, but that thing was uncatchable, I thought.
The world may never know. At that point, one of the problems with that is that he did get tangled up with the defender, right? And the defender did impede him. So the question is could he have ran hard enough to get to that ball, or was it legitimately overthrown? Because if it's overthrown, then it's irrelevant. And they're making the judgment call saying he maybe could have got to it.
It is a tough call. Sometimes when I see that, I think, you know what? Well, that defender he didn't initiate contact, but he has the right to be on the field there. So always could go either way anyways. 1st and 10, doesn't matter what we think up here. It just matters what they do down there. 1st and 10, Skyline.
I think they care what we think.
They care a lot. Calvert, he'll keep it, and he'll run it this time by design. Up the middle, he'll pick up about 5.
And he was smart. He jumps to the ground, picks up his yardage, and jumps on the ground. I mean, I think Skyline goes as Calvert goes this year. He's a He's a good quarterback with a lot of moxie, and if they're going to have any kind of extended season, he needs to stay healthy.
Second and about 6, they'll say. Calvert's going to go deep again. A little too much on that, looking for Miles Hall.
And that's a pretty ball. I mean, he has deceptive arm strength. He just lofts it up there. I mean, he threw that ball close to 40 yards on the fly, and it looked fairly effortless as he threw it up there.
So third down here for Skyline. Big chance for Post Falls to make a stop. Calvert throws it, intercepted on the sideline as Post Falls. And can he stay in? No, what a tackle out of bounds by the receiver, number 5, Porter Brockman, saves a touchdown. But what a pick. That looked like number 20, Tayson Genatone.
Yeah, and Genatone did a good job on that one. I didn't think that there was any chance that any receiver was going to get to that, let alone the defender. And he made a strong break on the ball at the very end. He jumped in front of it. I thought he was going to be out of bounds, but nimble footwork right there on the sidelines.
Yeah, Genatone jumps the route. Big interception. Post Falls takes over, and on first down, throw to the left side picks up about 6. But I tell you, if they don't get him, if that tackle is not made on the outside by Brockman, man,
it's lights out. No lineman's going to touch him, yeah.
He had a lot of space. So 2nd and 5, they'll say. And Bustamante stumbles forward for about 1 yard.
See, and I look at Skyline, I say, that's 3 picks. He's thrown 3 picks in this game. If they can control the ball better, if they don't turn the ball over, where would we be? I mean, it might be not nearly as close.
So a new quarterback in this time for Post Falls, number 11. That's Jaden Butler, the senior, takes over. Handoff to Bustamante, and he has got the first down. So not sure what's going on, why McCune was pulled, but he's on the sideline here. Different quarterback in. Jaden Butler is a senior. He's 6'1", 175 pounds, so he's a little bit bigger body than McCune and 2 years older.
And Post Falls is now kind of going back to what had worked on that last touchdown drive. Hand the ball to Bustamante, let him run between the tackles and pick his way. Knock you out 10, 12 yards, 8 to 12 yards at a time.
And that's exactly what he does right there. Scoots forward for another 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and 1 for Post Falls, as after the interception, they are on the move.
It's 2nd and 1 from the 33-yard line.
Again, another handoff to Bustamante, left side, and he plows through a defender. He's got the first down to the 25-yard line.
Well, I was watching the ref here in the backfield, and he was close. He almost threw a hold. He almost threw the flag for a holding call. At the very end, he put it back in and said, you know what, not that bad.
And quickly to the line, here comes Post Falls. Post Falls very Oregon State looking today with their black jerseys, orange pants with black numbers.
Orange numbers.
Orange numbers, sorry. Black pants, or black, I can't get my words out here. Going deep right side, and it is dropped. It was a good look, a good read. Just couldn't come down with the catch for Shields.
And the defender did a great job breaking on the ball at the very end. He got there right when the ball got there. That was a good no call. I wouldn't have called it. I thought that the refs did a good job of not calling anything on that. In fact, he probably had a chance to pick that if he would have turned a little bit quicker.
2nd and 10. Bustamante goes right. Gets about 2 yards, brought down by Bo Tate. I said, okay, so Post Falls, black jerseys, orange numbers, orange pants. So they look very Oregon State-esque. And looks like, on the other side, looks like Navy. For Skyline. You got white, and gold helmets, just the straight gold.
Or Army.
Army or Navy, yeah, take a pick. A flag going to be thrown here. So we've got Oregon State versus Navy. Brandon does that, Baney. He always tries to tell you who it looks like is playing, so you just have a reference. Not that, I mean, you can see them down here, but for an audio game, a little bit different when you want those descriptions given. So a false start on the line, so it'll bring up 3rd and about 12 now.
See, and that's not obviously for anybody, that's not the position you want to be in. But with the new quarterback in there, we don't know what his arm strength is. We don't know the grasp of the offense. We know that Bustamante has always been good for about 4 to 5 yards, but those third and longs tend to be difficult for a new quarterback.
So again, Jaden Butler, the new QB in for Post Falls, and he'll just chuck it downfield, and he almost had Bustamante incomplete. So this will be 4th down and 12.
Yeah, no man's land, right? You kick the field goal. It's a heck of a field goal. Do you punt it? Well, it's not really netting anything. So
I think if you had picked up 7 yards on this, that makes the field goal conversation a little different. Would have been about a 35-yarder. But
well, they're going to give it a go.
So the ball's going to be spotted at the 44-yard line.
No, the 34.
So it'll be a 44-yard field goal. So Brandt boots it and just wide right. He had the leg. It could have gotten over the bar. It would have been just barely long enough. So about, yeah, you look at that and say, all right, 40 yards is probably where Brandt could knock that thing through from what we've seen. That one just a little bit short and to the right. So 2 missed field goals that could have made this thing 21-16 so far for Post Falls. Gives the ball back over to Skyline.
And a pretty evenly played football game. I know Skyline has a lead here, but Post Falls has been able to move the ball, make some stops, and the game's kind of gone back and forth. So I think it's a good football game. If you're a football fan, these are the games you enjoy watching. 2 teams go at it, have no clue who the other team is. Maybe just got a little bit of film on the other one.
Brockman starts right, goes left, goes back right, and he'll lose about 4 yards on that. Sometimes when you try to go east and west, you end up going south.
He didn't need to do that. I mean, he was trying to make something out of nothing. Skyline has not had very many negative plays.
So 2nd and about 14. 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
I say negative plays. How about negative yardage? Those turnovers are rough.
Taking their time on this one, man in motion, is Spencer Grant. And that pass incomplete. They were looking for Castleton on the left side, just couldn't get it to him.
Yeah, Castleton stopped running. He needed to keep going towards the sideline. The ball was there. I think the route, he just cut it off.
Thanks for joining us here, IdahoSports.com. Presentation of North Idaho Game Night, which is presented by Mountain West Bank. I want to thank our power booster for Post Falls, Tim Special Cut Meats. Short pass that time, a screen pass, and making a move is Miles Hall into the 2nd level. And if nobody gets him, Hall's going to go all the way across the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Miles Hall. 84 yards.
Yeah, that's why that kid's going to play football at BYU. You get him in the open field. He's a big, strong athlete, and nobody's going to catch him. Although, I will say this, Dylan Wolf showed some speed at the end as Hall's kind of slowed down. But that was a good pitch and grab. He had the lineman. He had some blockers out in front of him. And then with that speed, once you get him in the open field, it's going to be tough to catch him.
So Miles Hall takes a short screen all the way to the house. Extra point is up.
And good.
And good. 28-10 Skyline in command right now. A 3-score lead for the Eagles over Post Falls. What a play. Miles Hall takes it. And he did that himself. Screen pass, he was only 2 or 3 yards downfield. Used the blockers and then just turned on the jets around the 40-yard line and goes all the way to the house.
And I've watched a little bit of film on Miles Hall, and he's tough. I mean, he's a big, strong kid, and you're not going to arm tackle him. And once he got some blockers in front of him, everybody was jumping at his legs. He was able to high step a little bit and get out there. So good play call for Skyline. And honestly, you got to respond now. Post Falls, you've got to get down the field. You got to get some scores, and you do that by that short game. You do Bustamante up the Bustamento up the middle. I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm slaughtering it. I'm great at that. Up the middle, you get it between the tackles. You start getting some yards that way, and then you start running your short intermediate routes to try and move the ball. But you've got to score on this drive.
So 5 guys up close for Post Falls there at midfield. They're kind of looking, thinking, hey, you know what? We saw them do that little squib onside kick earlier. Don't want to get caught in that again. This time, Skyline will go deep. Ball hits around the 15. Brought down by Wolf. Wolf across the 30. He's got a wall. Across the 40. Over midfield. Down to the 45-yard line. Great return. Gets it at the 10. So about a 45-yard kickoff return for Wolf. And Post Falls, a great answer after a big touchdown given up.
Yeah, Wolf was the guy that was chasing Hall down at the end there. Showed great speed, and I'd imagine if if Wolf gets in the open field, he could take that thing to the house.
3:34 on the clock here in the third quarter. Handoff on the sweep. Goes around for Post Falls. Across the 35, and out of bounds that time for Ostlin.
Great stiff arm in the backfield. The guy bounced up. What that looked like was one of those Madden plays. He was right in stride. He hit the stiff arm, bounced off of him, and stayed on his feet and just kept going.
Just enough to keep it up. First down picked up by Post Falls. So just when you think Post Falls might be down and out, they put together a great kickoff return, a good play on first down, and are knocking on the door already. Still back at quarterback is Butler now. Again on the left side to Osman. Ostlin gets about 6 yards.
Post Falls looks content to run the ball right now, and that's fine when you're in the third quarter if they can get a couple more stops. But they do have to punch it in, as we said before. But I think we've seen one forward pass from the new quarterback.
And the ball is fumbled, and falling quickly on it was Butler. So that'll come back another 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 10.
He fumbled that exchange with Bustamante. He went, it was supposed to be a play action on it, and it looks like he got the ball caught up on his running back's hip.
.230 to go on this sweltering hot day here in the Treasure Valley. Deep pass going right side, going up and over, almost bringing it in was Shields. And I think over here you're hearing some rumblings from Post Falls saying, you know, we've been called for less contact on that. But you know what? Great defense played over there. I believe that was Spencer Grant. He turned around, made sure his head was looking at the quarterback so that he didn't get called. You know, you can't face guard like that without turning around, but
yeah, and he did a good job, too. He ran his hand up through the receiver's arms to break up the receiver bringing the ball in. He played that one just right, but he did it with his hands not on the receiver, but sticking it in front of the path of the ball to the receiver.
4th down. Post Falls going for it. A nice route and almost to Bustamante. He ran the wheel route, but a flag down around Butler. We might have roughing the passer.
Yeah, I think they hit his head, if I'm not mistaken. I think he made contact with his head. I don't think it was an intentional type situation. I think he just, yeah.
Either way, a 15-yard penalty. This will give Post Falls a first down. That was 4th down, and the pass was incomplete.
Ooh, talk about a dagger, man. You had him there. Threw an errant ball. It was your ball, and
that would have turned into an opportunity to really kind of put the nail in the coffin here. A score here, either 31 or 35-10, would have been a tough deficit to come out in a quarter for Post Falls. But now a little more life given back to the Trojans. Another sweep this time, cut inside, and you know what? Skyline kind of just expects that now. They've done it so many times and really have not been able to get a ton of yardage on it, and that one picks up maybe, looks like
an inch.
An inch, yeah. They just shuffled it up just a hair.
Yeah, and you got to think that if the offensive coordinator is building up for something on that, and we'll see what they have off of that, some sort of play action or moving the ball down the field, but you just don't call that so many times, especially if starting to get snuffed without something in your bag.
Butler rolls right. Good pass, receiver. Oslin brings it in, and he's close to the first down marker.
Knocked out of bounds to the 9-yard line.
So he's out at the 9. He needs the 7 for a first, 3rd and 2.
It's 3rd and 2.
We've got the GOAT downstairs on PA, Micah Cranny. And Bustamante picks up a first down. You know, Micah does a lot of stuff. I think he does College of Idaho. He does state tournaments at the Idaho Center. I don't think there's anybody better in the business.
I'll have to let him know you said that.
Yeah, well, I've said it to him on Twitter before. He knows.
Okay.
So there's a handoff right side. The ball is out, and who has it? It looks like Skyline does. And they do at the 1-yard line.
What a dagger. You had a great run, a first down. You're right there.
So Joseph Johnson comes away with the fumble recovery on the 1-yard line. So Tevin Burns came in for Bustamante. Bustamante looked to come up a little slow on the play before and decides to come out for a play. And, man, what a backbreaker for Post Falls.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, it's just – that hurts. That hurts any way you look at it. You're right there. You fumble on the goal line. And, of course, you got to expect they punch it in the next play. So, you know, regroup, make a stop, see if you can get the ball turned over, and then start taking control as best you can leading into the fourth quarter. But if you're Skyline, you know, get some space, start running out the clock at this point.
So 1st and 10, ball way down. Post Falls will look to get a push here, and they just kind of, first time under center for anybody today. And you know what? It goes for about 4 yards. They get all the way up almost to the 6 on that, and a little breathing room for the Eagles.
I don't know. I don't know what I just saw, Logan. I have no clue. I mean, somebody under center, that's amazing. The lost art of taking a snap under center, and you see what happens. I mean, if it's me, you got to look at doing that a little bit more.
So 2nd and about 6. Calvert looking to throw. He's under pressure, and he fumbles it, and it's going to be picked up by Post Falls. They're going to call it incomplete. That is
take your bias out.
Man, that was close. That was a bang-bang play. I thought it got knocked out of the hand of the quarterback.
Yeah, it looked like it, too, as he was coming across. I don't know if his arm was in motion.
Oh, man. That looked like a fumble. So Post Falls almost comes away with a huge play by knocking the ball out of Calvert's hands and scoring, but they call an incompletion.
Yeah, Trevor Miller's put pressure on all day. He's played a heck of a game. He was the one that recovered the onside kick, too.
And right there, a double-team effort. Looked like that was Logan Clark on the pressure and on the option play. They're going to lose a couple yards, in danger of being a safety back there, but they get to the 2. So Post Falls holds on that drive. And it's a dangerous spot to be punting out of. A bad snap could make all the difference here for Post Falls. Calvert will boot it away quickly and a good kick. This one gonna die, but Post Falls will have good field position. They'll take over at the 33-yard line. So Post Falls holds what could have been an even better situation, turns out to be an okay situation, as they'll take over at the 33 with no time left. That'll do it for the fourth quarter. We're going to take a second and step away and be back with the final quarter of play here on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
And welcome back for the final quarter of play here from Middleton High School. Post Falls and Skyline, Utah. Skyline, the out-of-state team, actually with the closer commute than Post Falls. Post Falls area is a great spot. My brother-in-law lives right across the border there in Liberty Lake, Washington. My nephew plays basketball for the new Ridgeline High School. So we go up there a lot. So 1st and 10 for Post Falls. Chance here for the Trojans to make something happen. I don't think the score really indicates that this game is a lot closer than it looks. Quick pass to the outside is going to be caught by Ostlund, and Ostlund is lucky that didn't get intercepted and taken to the house.
Yeah, Ostlund broke a tackle on that one on the good spin play. What I'm liking out of the quarterback at this point, the ball's whipping out there a little bit quicker as it's getting to the receivers, which gives them a little bit more time to make a move once they receive it, once they catch the ball.
So 2nd and about 3 yards here. Man in motion gets the handoff. And some room this time, and he gets to the second level. And, man, tell you, the defense right there by Matthew Boyack swallowed up. And I tell you, if Boyack doesn't come in quickly, he has gone to the house.
You're exactly right. He had a lot of green space right in front of him. But the cut back to the middle of the field as everybody pursued to the sideline let the middle of the field open.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 15-yard line. Bustamante gets the handoff. Picks up about 5 yards down to the 10-yard line.
And that big offensive line is really doing a good job, and they've done a great job between the tackles. They lean on that Skyline defensive line, getting into the second level, and just blows it up for easy 5-yard gains all day. On that one, though, yeah, and even then he leans forward for some good yardage. Excuse me, non-negative yardage. They ran the counter and they pulled the far side guard to block up inside for him.
So it'll be 3rd down and 4. Bustamante gets the call up the middle, and I believe he's got the 1st down to the 3-yard line. So Post Falls fumbles the ball at the 1-yard line, holds and is right back where they started. They've had plenty of scoring opportunities, just haven't been able to convert. And these are things that usually get worked out after your 1st or 2nd week. And this is their 1st week playing. And a flag going to be called and a false start coming.
And for Post Falls, you got to say the first half was like their first game. The second half looks like a different team. They're able to run the ball. And they're doing what they do. They run the ball really well, and they need to stick with that. And you can see, as long as they feed Bustamante the ball, they've been able to move it.
And really, this game, so it's an 18-point game, but if there was 2 long plays, and that's really the difference. A 50-yard touchdown reception at the end of the first half by Porter Brockman and an 84-yard reception, mostly a run by Miles Hall. That's the difference here. So Bustamante takes it up the right, and he is stuffed. And that's Brockman in there playing defense. No, excuse me, that was Joseph Johnson. So Johnson, the one that recovered the fumble with a big tackle there. And they'll say Miles Parker was in there as well.
Yeah, but it was good yardage on 1st down. I mean, they have a – ooh, that's tough running up inside. He was hitting the backfield too.
As Burns, and Burns definitely a smaller running back, 5'7", 158 pounds. And he's trying to get down there with the hog mollies, the little man. And it's 3rd and 1 from the 1. And this time going in for the touchdown. Tevin Burns gets it in for the Trojans.
That was a power left. You had the lead blocker. They brought in an extra guy, extra blocker, which they typically don't have 2 guys in the backfield, extra blocker off the left side. They collapsed that side of the line, the defensive line. He walked in and rolled in. I mean, he got touched, but he was already in the end zone.
Extra point coming here is up, and it's good. And I tell you what, his extra points have looked great. It's the field goals that have just been a little short. So at the 9:13 mark of the quarter, Skyline still leads at 28-17.
And you said it best. I mean, Skyline's up, yes, but it has been a tough-fought ball game, very equally matched on both sides. You know, Skyline's turned the ball over three picks and and a fumble, 2 fumbles, as a matter of fact, right? So that's 5 turnovers on Skyline's side. Sloppy football. You take those out, you take all the turnovers out. Skyline may be up big, but Post Falls has given them everything that they can handle.
Yeah, great balanced game between these two. It's been a great afternoon here at Middleton for both of these squads. Thanks for joining us again. North Idaho game night presented by Mountain West Bank from Middleton. Wind starting to pick up a little bit here. We tied down our little tent that we've got here just to be safe.
And, you know, the wind's starting up, thankfully, as we say.
Yeah, we're not complaining about having a little breeze up here on a 95-degree day in the Treasure Valley. Kickoff is deep, taken at the 5-yard line. Across the 20-25. A lot of room to run into the second level across midfield to the 40 and knocked out of bounds by the kicker.
Well, the football gods giveth and the football gods taketh away. Great return, almost identical return, and Skyline now is going to start off with fantastic field position off a great kick return.
Yeah, just a great return by Skyline all the way down to the 30, so another short field given for the Eagles.
And Skyline set up that return really well. It was a wall left, and he got to the sideline. They pinned everybody to the inside, and so he had a lot of open space, but he showed good speed as he accelerated up the sideline.
So 1st and 10 for Skyline, ball on the 30-yard line. 9 minutes to go here in this one. This one, a run up the middle. This is Bo Tate, the ball carrier, and he'll pick up 5 yards.
Bo Tate Jr. has some varsity experience. He's a returning varsity player. He looks the part as a running back. Pretty aggressive runner. Shows a good burst up in the hole.
So 2nd and 5. And Tate takes another handoff. He'll pick up about 4. A little quicker to the line than I might have expected out of Skyline with a 11-point lead and 8.5 to go. You'd think that they would love to eat up as much time as they are allowed to.
Yeah, it looks like they're going into score points mode. They're not playing to lose, they're playing to win.
This time they reset and take a few seconds more as Calvert comes back to get the call from the sideline.
Yeah, so they they have a play called when they go to the line, and if they see what they like and the coaches will tell them, they'll run it. If not, they look back for the second call.
Back to passes Calvert. He'll roll right under pressure and sacked. Big sack brought down by number 99, Trevor Miller, back to the 30-yard line.
Trevor Miller just looks like that throwback defensive end, hustling all over. Pads are hanging out. Number 99, the biggest number you can get out there, putting pressure on the quarterback.
Huge play. They've been able to get back there with some decent success. Car alarm, I don't think it's mine, going off back there. You can have what you find in there.
Yeah, I don't have anything in mind either. Go for it.
I got all the equipment up here, so. All right. It's 4th down all of a sudden for Skyline. And more pressure, and Calvert steps up. Throws it. Is it caught? No, incomplete. Threw it into traffic. So Post Falls comes away with the stop on downs, and all of a sudden, 7 minutes to go. It's a 2-possession game. Post Falls with an opportunity. You know what? They battle back after that phenomenal kick return, and you got to think, if you're the Trojans, you say, we got a shot here.
Yeah, we do. We have a big shot. I mean, we have some momentum working for us. It showed on defense, coming up with some big stops. The sack was huge, and now all of a sudden you're saying, hey, we're in this. We're only 11 points down. We have a whole bunch of time in front of us.
So that first play is incomplete.
Yeah, so I'm hearing the coaches on the sideline here. Like I said, it's eerily quiet. There's no band, right? There's no music.
It's a very, it's like when COVID was around, right? When
Yeah.
we were doing games, and, man, basketball was something. doing a basketball game when no one was there except the players and the people that were working. And, you know, somebody shoots a free throw, and you say, and it's missed. And they
everybody
just look up at you, and you're like, well, you missed it. Like, what'd you want me to say?
I think COVID's going to go down as one of the greatest social experiments in the world has ever seen.
And a huge play over the middle into the second level, and he fumbles it right into the hands of Skyline, but maybe Post Falls has it. Let's see.
No, they fell on it. Looks like
And they do have it.
Oh, wow.
So Bowie caught it in the middle of the field and rumbled forward for about 15 more yards, coughed the ball up, and had a teammate come and I thought
Skyline had it.
Johnson, it fell right in his hands.
Yeah, wasn't expecting it.
And like you don't expect that. And Post Falls lucky to keep possession. This pass outside is incomplete, but what a chain of events right there on that play.
So Post Falls is doing a good job, and they've been throwing those seam routes. And like I said before, you set up that picket fence on the first line, right? You have the defensive line, you have your first line with your linebackers. And they've been reading that and throwing either in the middle of that seam or just beyond that and before you get to the safeties, and they've seen a lot of success.
Second down. Pass over the middle is caught. What a great reception by Shields between a couple of defenders. Brockman was there as well as Caden.
Yeah, and that was the same thing. He threw the exact same type of route. Threw it in the seam, past the first level. In between the second one, he put a defender on his hip and made the grab.
So Trojans are not going away. Almost to the 6-minute mark of the quarter. Bustamante up the middle. He'll pick up about 5 before he's upended. Big stop. I believe that was Miles Hall in there on the hit.
That was about an 8-yard pickup, 7 or 8-yard pickup. I mean, he's running tough up inside those tackles. It looks like he's a little hobbled, though. He's been dinged a little bit back and forth.
2nd and 4. Handoff right side. And swallowed up. And again, Miles Hall, he's just so fast. When he decides to go, he goes. And there is no doubt when he gets over there and he wraps up Burns for a loss.
Yeah, he's hurting too. He's tired. Needs to go get some fluids in him.
Again, another hot day here in Boise. High 90s. And a timeout going to be called. Probably a good call, like you said there. Their defense has been on the field a long time as we're at the 5:23 mark here of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, good football game. I'm really impressed with Post Falls, how they've responded in the second half. They took it upon themselves to stay within the game plan. We run between the tackles. And now they found something with the quarterback, throwing some of those seam routes, getting beyond the first level, pinning the guys between them and that picket fence, and pinning the guys on their hips and hitting their big, tall receivers. And they do have some tall receivers, 6'5", 6'6", 6'1", and they've done a good job hitting those guys. And those aren't magnificent throws. It's not amazing. They just put the ball where their guy can catch it.
I tell you, this is going to be a team that is going to be a factor at the 5A level. Just from what we've seen, they have hung around, they've made mistakes, and they're still right back in this thing. And I tell you, if I'm team for, and Post Falls next week, I believe it's Timberline is going to come up north and play a game, so they're going to get a chance to battle a 5A SIC squad, see where they stand. Of course, Timberline did get taken behind the woodshed against Boise this week, or last week, I should say. I believe it's Timberline that's going up to Post Falls.
Yeah, so Skyline, a bit of a history on them. They lost to Springville, which they have a BYU commit also from Springville, Utah, and that's a good football team in Springville. So they got beat by them, so it's not like it's a terrible, I think got beat soundly, but they played one of the top-tier 5A teams in the state. So other than that, Post Falls is playing a pretty dang good football team here.
So 3rd down and wrapped up in the backfield. Big stop by Bo Tate. He brings down Burns.
Yeah, Bo Tate going 2 ways, right? On offense, taking the handoff, keeping his pads low, and on defense, as a starting linebacker, you see him making a huge impact.
So a big play here, 4th down, about 6 yards to go for the Trojans.
Skyline has been in this position before, and penalties, mistakes have extended those plays and led to touchdowns.
So a timeout looks like going to be called by Post Falls. We saw a similar situation, a 4th down, where a roughing the passer was called. that extended the drive and let Post Falls go in for the score. So if I'm Skyline, you got to play disciplined football and stay with it and make sure to not commit any penalties. If you're Post Falls, you got to run your routes past the sticks and no turnovers.
So you got to dial something up right here. And unfortunately, I wish you could stick with the Bustamante because he's probably your best bet to pick it up. But that's not a guarantee, so you're probably going to have to go through the air at this point. If I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm looking at something in the seams again. I'm looking for my big tight end or maybe my tall receivers in the seam route just beyond the sticks.
4th and 6, 4:53 on the clock.
And as the time ticks down, if you're, it's a hot day, make sure you're hydrated. But if you're that defense from Skyline, you've been on the field a lot in the second half.
Here we go, 4th down. Nobody back there right now with Butler. Butler across the middle. Great defense by Bo Tate. Gets a hand on the pass and knocks it down, and the Eagles will take over.
Great play. No defensive pass interference. He ran right with him, stuck his hand in right at the last minute. Hey, quarterback, that was the right read. There really wasn't anyone open. You had to make something happen. That was just a good defensive play.
So the Eagles will take over, 1st and 10, ball's at the 25. There is 4:49 on the clock. You can typically, for a set of downs, at least run a minute and a half off the clock if you're able to keep the ball on the ground. And I'd look for Skyline to, at least if it was me, I'm not a coach, clearly, and there's a reason that somebody else is down there and not me, and I'm up here just talking about it. But I'd keep the ball on the ground and see how much of this final 4 minutes I can eat away. And Tate will take the handoff, and he picks up about 4 yards. And honestly, that's what you want. If you can pick up 4 yards every play, that'll get you to a 3rd and 2 before you pick up the first and you just eat up more time.
Yeah, Bo Tate going both ways, run off the sideline. He's played a big game today, been very effective. And when he runs with the ball, he runs low to the ground, keeps his pads low to the ground and covers up that ball, and that's what you're looking for.
So 2nd down and 6. This one, Brockman takes it up the middle, and he'll pick up about 5 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 1.
This is what you're looking for. You got to grind you grind that 4 yards at a time. I'll take that all day. Hey, you were right. Post Falls does get Timberline at home next week. That should be a big game to help pad their RPI max prep ranking. If they can win. Not writing off Timberline just yet.
From what I've seen, I think Post Falls should be favored in that game. I've seen both teams play this year in an unbiased opinion. And Brockman is going to get just enough for the 1st down. And if you're Skyline, you're okay with that. Let's just get 10.5 yards per set of downs. And a minute has come off the clock. We're down under 3.5 to play. So roughly, about a minute per set of 3 downs. So 2 more 1st downs might be all she wrote here for the Eagles. Brockman takes up the middle again. He'll bounce out left. And he's across the sticks, another 1st down for Skyline.
Picking up 1st downs on the ground, that's what you do. Keeps the ball going. Don't put it in the air. Cover the ball up as you're moving forward. And Brockman does a good job with that. He's he's more of an elusive back as Bo Tate comes back on the field. But Brockman does a good job of bouncing outside. Bo Tate a little bit more between the tackles kind of guy.
3 minutes to go. Thanks for joining us here on IdahoSports.com for North Idaho Game Night. Bo Tate into the 2nd level. He's across the 40, down to the 30, the 20. Still on his feet, still going, breaks another tackle, down to the 10, and is he going to go? He will! Oh my goodness, what a run by Bo Tate. You will not see a tougher, better run than you saw from Bo Tate right there.
Oh, man, and he just stayed on his feet, kept his pad level low, and ran over guys the whole time. That's a linebacker playing offense right there.
That was unbelievable. It was Marshawn Lynch-esque, right? Where you
beast mode.
Just shaking off defenders. He should have went out of bounds at the 30. He should have been knocked out at the 20. He should have been brought down at the 5, and he ends up dancing in the end zone for 6.
Heck, I was even going to say, he did a good job cutting back in field to stay in bounds, but why go down and stay in bounds when you can score a touchdown?
So extra point is up and good for Skyline.
Very good. Yeah, that was a fantastic. That was one of the best runs I've seen in high school football in years.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal run. If you get, hey, that should be reason enough alone to buy the game.
Oh,
so
yeah.
do it for that run. If you're a Skyline fan, that needs to go on your highlight film.
That was worth the price of admission right there. At the 2:44 mark, Bo Tate takes it 52 yards to the house. What a run.
What a run, and a little disheartening if you're Post Falls at this point. You got to say, hey, 244, we're down by quite a bit. They fought hard. They played well. First game of the season. They're playing a pretty dang good team from Salt Lake City today. No night about it. The Heat will tell you it's not the night. And at this point, you take it as your first game. It's a non-conference. It's out of state, and I think that you grow off of this. And I'm looking at Post Falls' upcoming schedule. They play Sunnyside, which is a Washington team. They play University, which is from Spokane, then Rathdrum. You have a chance with Timberline. You can win 4 of these in a row. Now, I don't know a ton about University, but I do think that Post Falls has a good chance against the next 3 to 4 opponents.
This Skyline team, extremely balanced as to who they get the ball to and who can score it. Post Falls takes the kickoff. Wolf will be down at the 30. But we've seen touchdowns come for the Eagles. You've got Walker Adams has a score. Brockman has a couple of scores. Well, he has 2 scores. Miles Hall has a score. And now finally Bo Tate. So they are spreading the ball. Nobody's outdoing anybody. I think everybody has been phenomenal. I mean, the last 3 touchdowns have been 50 yards, 84 yards, and 52 yards for Skyline. So 3 long touchdowns are the difference in this one.
Yeah, explosive players doing explosive things, and you look at a lot of those guys, and that kind of talks a lot to the versatility needed to be really good in high school football, as those are two-way players scoring those touchdowns.
So Dawson Pratt now in at quarterback for Post Falls. So the 3rd quarterback of the day. Pratt had been the one with the headset on doing the hand signals all afternoon, but he'll have a chance to finish this one out here for the Trojans.
If you're Post Falls, you want to, show some life, but at this point, walk away, say, hey, we learned a lot first game of the season. We traveled 6.5 hours south to play a game, and you know what? We learned a lot, played a tough team, but then you got to gear up. Just don't get injured. Let's walk away from this with everybody intact and just play some football for the rest of the season.
Right side on the run and still fighting forward for some yards. This time a new back in for Post Falls. This is number 41, Tyler French, the 5'9" junior. We'll bring up 3rd and about 6 yards. And we'll call it 5.
Well, we'll call it 5. Tell you what, I feel like this is a good game. If you're going to lose a game, this is a good game to lose, and it's a good way to get your feet wet for Post Falls moving forward. If you're Skyline, you take this as a good positive momentum heading in. Now, Utah does do the RPI play, so regions don't mean as much, but this is good moving forward, playing a good, solid team from Idaho.
And this is interesting, when you move on here, so Skyline will go back to Utah, Post Falls back up north. This is one you say, thanks for the game. I'm glad to have defeated you. But I hope you win the rest of your games, right?
You do. You absolutely do.
Because it'll count. It'll move over. The better that each of these teams do, the better that each one does. So it behooves Post Falls to have Skyline do well and vice versa. Skyline hopes Post Falls the best going forward, as this is a 4th down, 40 seconds on the clock. So they'll boot this one away, and that should be all she wrote here from Middleton. Of course, we're going to announce the IdahoSports.com player of the game. We'll take a quick break after this one, after the final whistle, and then we will be back with that player of the game and to wrap everything up here. Again, thanks for joining us. We're glad you were here for this great game. Of course, we mentioned it before. If you want to own a copy of it, just hit the escape button if you're full screened right now, and you'll see a link for it down there. You can just own a copy for forever, keep it, make clips of it, do whatever you want with it. Just keep it on hand.
Well, actually, you need to own a copy of the Bo Tate touchdown.
Oh, yeah. No, that's phenomenal.
Even if you're a Post Falls fan, you got to do it. Say, hey, we just got we got beast moded on that thing.
So a timeout taken by Post Falls to avoid the delay of game, but 12 seconds on the clock. And that should do it here from Middleton High School. Again, thanks for joining us on Idaho Sports. Post Falls fans, be sure to check IdahoSports.com all season long for scores, schedules, not just for the football team, for boys and girls soccer, for volleyball, and then as we get into basketball season for that as well.
Yeah, Skyline coming up has Bountiful at home, takes on Highland, which is literally a hop, skip, and a jumping away, along with Olympus High School. They're all right there in that same area. And then after that, and that is region play, and then they're going to take on Brighton, which is picked to win their region. So they have their work cut out for them in front of them, but they look to be playing good football moving forward.
So that'll do it. That punt finishes off the game. Skyline has defeated Post Falls 35-17. We'll be right back to wrap everything up and announce our IdahoSports.com player of the game right after this.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
And welcome back, everybody, to Middleton. All that's left to do is announce our IdahoSports.com player of the game. And you know what? Sometimes it's very easy to pick. Sometimes it's a little difficult. And we could have picked any number of people from Skyline. But at the end of the day, we're going to go with the guy that capped it all off, number 1, Bo Tate.
Yeah, Bo Tate played a good football game. He's a two-way player. He's not even your starting running back, but they brought him in kind of as the hammer, as a grinder to grind that down. But on defense, you saw him making stops in the backfield. He was upfield. And then on a critical fourth down conversion, he was able to get his hand in there, and he knocked the ball out. And at that point, it was kind of lights out and all over. 4 Post Falls. And then the ultimate nail in the coffin, he goes beast mode, 52 yards, rumbling for the touchdown. And what is one of the best runs I've seen in high school football.
Just a phenomenal run from Bo Tate. Like you mentioned, he got the deflection on 4th down and then capped it off. Really was the workhorse on that drive, all 75 yards of it coming on his back. So that'll do it here for North Idaho Game Night. Thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com. North Idaho Game Night, which is presented by Mountain West Bank. Also brought to you in part by our major sponsors, Toyota, your local Toyota dealer, Project Filter, the Idaho Division of Public Health, as well as Valley-wide Co-op and Country Stores. Again, for everybody behind the scenes here at Idaho Sports, we thank them for making this broadcast be brought to you live and free here on Idaho Sports. For Alex Johnson, I'm Logan Green, alongside also with Ryan. What? I already forgot your last name, Ryan.
Luke, you know this. Come on.
Oh, my gosh. I tell you what, somebody will tell me their name, and I literally will forget it. I just can't do it. So for Ryan, Luke, and Alex Johnson, I'm Logan Green. Again, Post Falls falls to Skyline, Utah, 35-17. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to check back next week to see. I believe we'll be there at Post Falls for that game against Timberline. So Post Falls fans, be sure to check that out, and we'll see everybody next week.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of IdahoSports.com